Welcome to Codex, History of Video Games. My name is Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week, we're continuing the Diablo train. We're going to talk about Diablo 2, which is many players' favorite Diablo. Do I have that correctly? This is sort of considered to be like everyone's favorite Diablo. And every time a new Diablo comes out, they're always saying, you know what? We looked at Diablo 2 and we tried to do that again.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much it. Diablo 2 is the best. And to give you some background, it's my favorite Diablo game. And I played it a lot during high school around like 2004, 2005. And this time I chose, so I did a little differently this time, just so everyone's aware. I kind of combined Diablo 1 and then its DLC together. This time I'm kind of doing them separately because I felt like I didn't give the DLC enough. So the second half of this episode is going to be talking about Lord of Destruction and the differences. I say second half. It's probably going to be like second quarter because we're going to talk a lot more about Diablo 1 than Lord of Destruction.
I often hear about Diablo 2. This is a game I've played, but I'm not like familiar. I especially didn't play back in the day, so I'm like unfamiliar with like the state of the gaming world at the time. But from what I hear is it's like Diablo 2 was cool, it was fine, but when Lord of Destruction came out, that's when it got good.
Yeah, they really upped the ante and added some stuff in Lord of Destruction. They made some quality of life improvements too. We'll talk about those because I really wanted to. Well, Diablo 1's DLC wasn't much to write home about anyway. As I said, it kind of added that extra dungeon. This adds a whole fifth act. Yeah. Yeah, it was single player only. That's another big thing about that. So we're going to get into it. I also found a really cool, this isn't in my notes. I'm just kind of going off the dome here, but I found a really cool article from the web archive that got taken down that was like an interview with the Schaefer brothers and David Brevik. It's kind of like a, so we're going to use that for our gameplay section, or our development section, excuse me. The gameplay section's all us, baby, because we played it.
Let's go.
Yeah, Tyler and I played together. We played we almost got through Act 1. We actually could have kept going and probably, I had like 2 more quests to do. And they didn't take me very long. Now, I have put about 6 hours into it, since actually more than that now, probably like 7 or 8 hours
since we played.
I played it all this morning. Like according to my Steam, like I've hit it hard. In fact, I can look right now. I'm opening Steam so I can tell you, but let's go into the grime facts first, and then we can get right into it. So this was developed by Blizzard North specifically.
That's the same folks that made the first Diablo, right?
That's correct. The David Brevik and the Schaefer brothers. So that's true. So it was released in North America on June 28th, 2000, then Europe, June 30th, 2000, and then July 6th, 2000 in Australia. Delilah is screaming right now.
She's really excited that you're getting all these facts right.
This is the thing, is she loves Diablo 2. I don't know if I told you guys this. My cat, huge Diablo 2 fan. Yeah. But okay, so I've actually played 8 hours, by the way. That's how much I've played since I bought the game 2 or 3 days ago. Because I was so into it.
You put an entire workday in.
Yeah, because you and I were talking, because I was like, well, I don't know what we're doing this week. And I was like, I can keep going in Diablo. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to buy Diablo 2 Resurrected if that's the case. And I'm going to keep playing it after I'm done with this episode because I love it so much. And it really is hitting all the boxes. So system, the best way to play, honestly, get Diablo 2 Resurrected on PC. It's cool because you can press the G key and then you can see what the old graphics looked like. Oh, I forgot to send those to you. Shoot. Well, maybe I'll post in the Discord. I took a side-by-side comparison of the same screen because I wanted to show everyone. I'll put it in the Discord of like what the Act 5 boss's lair looks like in the new version versus what the Act 5 boss's lair looks like in the old version. Oh, that's awesome. It's kind of funny. I'll put them in the Discord tomorrow.
This is also on consoles too. I'm pretty sure it's on Switch and stuff. So if you're a console player, Resurrected is the only way to play.
Yeah, and I mean, you can. Dude, I forgot so much stuff. I have my old Diablo 2 discs around here too. I was gonna break them out and show everybody.
You got a battle chest?
I got not the battle chest.
Oh, okay.
So
that's what I have as the backdrop.
A kid in high school.
On the video version of this.
Dude, that battle chest is great. A kid in high school named Tony. Hi, Delilah. He gave me. Shout out to Tony. Big ups to Tony. He gave me his discs for Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction, and I kept being like, you want those discs back? He's like, it's all good. I have them already. And I was like, okay. So I still have it. And it's been now about 20 years looking at the date today.
He's like, that's where they went. Give me those back.
Probably 22 years, honestly.
Because I was, the CD key. I guess you couldn't play at the same time because you would have been on the same CD key, huh?
I think he
if
was
they
doing
cared
something.
about that.
Well, I think this was at the time where there was already a cracked version of it where I could just download something and use the discs for the actual game files.
Yeah.
But just kidding. I don't ever do that.
You could have done that. Theoretically, obviously. We don't condone piracy.
No piracy, right, Tyler?
That's
None
right.
whatsoever.
No piracy.
We don't let it happen. We don't agree with
No.
it.
Nope.
Okay. So I would say play Diablo 2 Resurrected on your console of choice. I'm playing it on PC. Oh, I forgot to grab the number of copies sold. I'm just gonna say a
A
lot. Is that
lot.
cool?
I'll
Yeah.
do a quick Google for you while you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the action RPG. The how long to beat main story takes about 34 hours. Main story and sides takes 48 hours, and completionist takes 241 hours. There are, and I'm really excited to talk about this. Some. Oh, go ahead. You have the
15
sales.
million.
That's a lot. So
Yeah.
I was right. Hey, you know
According
what?
to vgsales.fandom.com, which is a wiki. So, what your teacher said, can't trust Wikipedia. Sure, whatever. But that's what this
But
website
guess
says.
what? It's a lot.
It
That's a
sold
lot.
many,
15
many
million is a lot.
copies.
Yeah. So we're going to talk at the end of the episode in the legacy section, which I'm kind of going to freestyle. I kind of quit writing the script because I was just like, I'm just going to talk about Diablo 2. I know it. I love it. We're going to talk about this legacy. But there are player made challenges like a Nuzlocke run,
Okay.
but for Diablo 2. And I'm excited to talk about those at the end of the episode. That's something that was very new to me that I got from this Blizzard 20th anniversary article they wrote. So we'll talk about that. Metacritic score 88 out of 100. So really
Seems
good.
low for how beloved this game is, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it was like, people complain about stuff all through since the internet was created. People have complained about things.
That's true.
So it's maybe you can't please everybody, but I think it's a 100 out of 100 if you ask me. There are some things with it though that annoy me. We'll talk about that. So I guess I can't say it's 100 out of 100 because I had my nostalgia a little shattered when we played. By the way, so because I forgot. I'll get to it.
Okay,
I want. So Diablo 2 is an action role playing game. It's pretty much Diablo 1 style, right? With the big differences being there is an outside world now. It's not all taking place in one dungeon. So you actually travel. There's 5 acts. There's 4 acts. And then a 5th one is added in Lord of Destruction. There's 5 starting characters instead of 3. There's the Amazon, Barbarian, Necromancer, Paladin, and Sorceress. There are a lot more ways to travel the world. Like I feel like they give you way more town portal scrolls in this game than they did in the old one. And one of my favorite things you can do is you can buy a tome of town portal. So when you pick up the town portal scrolls, it puts it in the tome and it doesn't take up as much space in your Tetris style inventory, right? Or your Resident Evil style inventory. I don't know why I think Tetris when I think about that.
Well, because you're rearranging. Well, I guess you're not spinning shapes to make.
You're not spinning them.
You're
like no,
really,
you are.
There is some strategy in like how you arrange things in your inventory, though.
Yeah, really, it's a Resident Evil style. But I think this came. Yeah, this was like 2 years after Resident Evil. So, well, I didn't look into that. We should look into that actually.
Yeah, first Resident Evil was 90
versus when
Resident Evil was like 96, I want to say.
Okay, and Diablo 1, as we talked about, was 96. like the end of 96, early 97.
Yeah, so, March 22nd, 1996 for the PlayStation.
Okay, so that was enough time to be like maybe there was an influence there. There's more waypoints also. The one thing I like about it is you actually travel to different towns, which is kind of cool. So you kind of explore more of Sanctuary than just Tristram. You do go back to Tristram. Tyler and I did that together because you got to go rescue the man, Deckard Cain. How does the rap go, Tyler?
Can you do the rap? My name is Deckard Cain, and I come from Tristram. If you're looking for Diablo, then you just missed him.
Nice.
That's all I remember of the Deckard Cain
I really just wanted to make you do that this episode. That's the only reason we're doing Diablo 2 is actually making Tyler do that. And also, you said that like 7 times while we were playing, and it never got old. I think it's great.
It just plays in my head all the time.
It's a pure banger. So character growth comes from earning experience and then doing skills. It's very similar to Diablo 1. I will say there's more skills now, and the skills are kind of a big part of it. So Tyler, we can talk about this for a bit because when we were playing, I knew what I was going to do, right? I was going to play as a paladin because I love paladins, and I was going to do the hammer paladin because that's my favorite, Hammerdin. You played as a sorceress, but I would say if you're going to play Diablo 2, just look up a build, look up something, have something in mind. You don't have to follow it exactly, but have an end goal.
Yeah,
of
have
what you want
some
to
sort
do.
of strategy, not just a like, I guess I'll just play and put points into things.
Yeah, I actually picked up some stabs and I saved them for you.
Oh, thanks.
So I put them in my stash. So that way I'm like, if we play again, I can just drop them on the ground and you can pick them up. Some of them you're not going to be leveled enough high enough for, but I was like, hey, you know, you can play with them.
Mhm.
So I would say I have a build in mind because Tyler, you were like, what should I do? And I'm like, I honestly don't know. I haven't played Sorcerer before. I literally played probably 7 runs where I was a Hammer Paladin every time in high school. Like, it's my favorite thing to do. And the moment I unlocked Blessed Hammer, guess what? Still slaps, still
Hammer,
rips.
it's hammer
Amazing.
time.
It was hammer time. It was amazing. So there are 3 different levels: normal, nightmare, and hell. I would say I play normally on normal, and then I would just kind of go through. I don't think I've ever played on hell. I definitely beat it on nightmare though with my friends. It's also one of those games where I think playing this with friends is the best way to go.
Mhm.
I'm a loser and I was playing it by myself because I'm addicted to it, but you should play it with friends because it's really fun, I would say. And I had more fun playing with Tyler than I did by myself. But it is a great game to put a little, if you got 2 monitors, put a YouTube video on one screen or a podcast or an audiobook, play the game.
It's good for like mindless grinding.
Exactly. And it's fun. So the battle.net service in this one was way more improved than previously in the first one. Like we kind of talked about how in Diablo 1 they threw battle.net in, I think 6 months before the end. This one was built with battle.net in mind, and it was one of David Brevik's big points to be like, let's really make battle.net work with this thing. And I'll get into why they had to do that later on, but here's a couple thoughts on the game. This is just my gameplay thoughts. Okay. Quests are not very straightforward on how you get them, and you really have to explore and listen to the dialogue options.
No,
when you're
no
like,
markers on the map. Very few markers.
yeah, no markers on the map. It's very much just like, hey, go to the Black Marsh and find the Forgotten Tower. Like that's what you got to do. And what's funny is when you and I were playing together, Tyler, I was just kind of skipping the dialogue. So I was like, I don't know what to do next. And then when I was playing by myself, they're like, talk to so and so to get the next quest. And I'm like, oh, I just missed that because I wasn't paying attention the first time. So because we were singing the Tristram Deckard Cain rap. So they give you so many potions. You drown in potions and gear compared to Diablo 1. If you liked the idea of getting the slot machine nature of Diablo 1, you're going to love Diablo 2 because it's even more. Salty runbacks are real. Tyler and I had a couple different corpse runs that felt bad. And that's the thing that has like took my nostalgia goggles off while we were playing. And I was like, I don't remember doing this.
Yeah,
but I probably did. And it was probably a bummer. And especially in those early levels, because now that I have Blessed Hammer, I'm dying a lot less because my build is starting to kick online. Those early levels, it's really hard. Like I had to fight a boss without you in Act 1. First of all, the funniest part of Act 1, the Act 1 last boss, not that hard. Random boss in the middle of it, way harder. So that's just how it goes. But it's a lot of like, especially if you're a spellcaster, you're going to be like kiting around the map a lot, trying to like stay away and using that sprint key and like watching your stamina, which to be fair, that's the game. Like that's what makes it thrilling is, and that my heart was racing when I was trying to fight and dodge and move around. So it does it. I think exploding barrels are rude.
I agree.
I think that. And I also want to say this is kind of a discussion topic, potentially a long discussion topic. And that is my question for you, Tyler. Have you ever played a video game? Or I'll say any game.
I have, yes.
Okay, good. That's the question. Tangent over. No. Have you ever played a video game or a game where traps have felt cool or good?
I think so the first thing that comes to mind with traps feeling like good or cool or like clever was the first Demon Souls game where there was tons of like unfair traps, but because you could see the messages that other people would leave for you, you could like kind of anticipate them. And I think all the other Souls games kind of do a similar thing. That's the only time that traps felt like cool, even though they were still annoying. But otherwise, like if it's just a memorization thing, that's not that interesting to me.
Yeah, or random. I mean,
or random.
Like random exploding barrels in Diablo are super annoying. I'm trying to think of the only time I can think of where they're fun is in like an Elder Scrolls game where you can see the wire and then you feel good because you disarmed it.
Yeah, yeah. It has to feel like there's some sort of like counterplay, and if it's just random, and then you have to like, I guess the counterplay is like, well, then your build needs to be ready for this stuff that could happen. Like, I mean, I guess, but I don't know, that's not that interesting to me.
I'm not proud of this moment, but when I was a DM, I killed a player twice with 2 different traps.
Dang,
And I
dude.
felt bad both times. I really wanted it to happen though, because I'd never seen it happen. And then it did happen, and I immediately felt guilty.
How do you feel
So
about traps? I'm gonna guess negatively.
it's not negative. It's just I feel like it's hard for them to be done well.
Yeah.
It's the same with puzzles. Like I'm thinking a lot about a TRPG standpoint also, not just an RPG standpoint, like a video game, but like a tabletop. It's hard to pull off a puzzle or a trap and make it feel like the player did it. They solved it. Like that's game design. That's why game design's hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard. But I just can't think of a other than the Skyrim thing where you like find the tripwire, you disarm it. Like that's the only way it feels good. I was playing Divinity Original Sin 2, and I got so tired of the traps, I just started running through them. I'm like, I'm just gonna heal. I don't care. I'm tired of these traps. I'm not gonna go through and disarm these one by one. It's a lot of time, not worth it. So I was curious what you thought about it because I was getting so annoyed with the exploding barrels. And guess what? It's still annoying, even in Act 2. They're not exploding now, they're poisoned. That's even better.
Wow.
So yeah, it's rude. Also, there's these bugs, these death beetles that shoot lightning when you hit them, and they'll murder you so quickly. It's so rude. Looking at you, death beetles, you're the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, you know what? This is a good thing. If you ever in your life playing a game experienced a trap or a puzzle where you were like, ooh, that really was great, you should let me know.
Are you talking like games like this specifically? Because I mean, there are games that are all about the puzzles, like a Zelda game. Every
Or
puzzle's great.
blueprints.
Yeah.
Why does blueprints feel so good? Maybe it's because you kind of stumble your way into them. It makes you feel like you're stumbling your way into them. Versus if I go in Diablo 4, for example, it's like click these in a certain order. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why? Like, why am I here? You know, that we ran into that in Diablo 2. It's like we got to click these stones to get to Tristram in a certain order. Okay, why couldn't I just click on all the stones and just open the portal? Like it just seemed like a time suck.
Yeah.
A lot
What
like a
skill
corpse
are we
run
testing
does.
here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Herodric cube in Diablo 2 adds a layer of like puzzliness where you can make recipes and experiment, but that's kind of different to me because you actually get like cool rewards out of it. And it's fun to experiment because it's like, what's the worst that could happen? It's just not going to work. That's fine. But things that hurt you bum me out. So the other thing, actually, I guess I should talk about the Herodric cube because you didn't get to that part yet. So there is a cube that you pick up, and it's pretty famous in Diablo. It's even in Diablo 4. The Herodric cube is an actual literal cube that you put in your inventory that you can open and you can transmute items inside of it.
Oh.
So you can, like, if you combine a bunch of gems and a sword, it makes a socketed sword. Like there's a bunch of different things you can do, but you also use it for quest items. So I'm assembling a staff right now, the Herodric staff in the Herodric cube in the game. So keep that in mind. The one thing I will say about this game that threw me off, and like in a good way, lots of voice acting. Like you click on a character, they start talking and they talk the whole paragraph. You read it and they talk the whole thing, which I was kind of impressed with.
Nice.
So that's nice. But let's talk about the plot of Diablo 2. This takes place shortly after the events of the original game, where the hero of the first game is now the villain of this game. So your old character in Diablo 1 was corrupted and is now known as the Dark Wanderer, and you're following their story in Diablo 2. I kind of love that. I love it when the hero of the first game becomes the villain of the second game. Do you like that, Tyler? It's a fun video game thing.
It's like the very, very final boss in Pokemon Gold and Silver is Red, who is the protagonist of the first game. Yeah, he's not a villain in the sense that like he's doing evil, but he is the final boss because of the way Pokemon works.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's just really cool. So the tale is told by Marius, a mysterious figure who's like relaying the story to Tyrael as you go through. And so you kind of like each act get like a cutscene from Marius explaining where he went with the Dark Wanderer next. But during the journey, You're gonna battle Diablo and then also his brothers Mephisto and Baal. And
Ooh.
they are known as the Prime Evils. And if you like Diablo, the Prime Evils are a big part of the game. They talk about Prime Evils all the time. They've added them in there. There's more lore with Prime Evils. My understanding is they might have retconned and reset some stuff in Diablo 4, but I need to look into that a little bit more. So, but it ends in a final confrontation with Diablo in hell. To no one's surprise, you're fighting Diablo again. That's what the name of the game is. But the Lord of Destruction campaign adds a whole new act, and we're going to talk about that at the end here. The development of Diablo 2, though, is really interesting because so I actually got three main sources from this. I have a Blizzard article called Diablo 2 continues to inspire Blizzard 20 years later, a game developer article about how Diablo 2 was made the hard way, and then a US Gamer article that's since been archived that's called In Their Own Words, An Oral History of Diablo 2 with David Brevik, Max Schaefer, and Eric Schaefer. So this game was developed for 3 years after Diablo 1. They started right away. And then 18 months of that ending time was crunch time. And it's pretty notable. It's like pretty known to them as being a terrible, terrible time. We'll talk about that. But Max Schaefer talks about the beginnings of Diablo like this quote, "It was no foregone conclusion that we would do Diablo 2. In fact, I think we had decided that it would probably be fun to do something else, but with the obvious popularity of Diablo 1 and a lack of clear idea of what to do, I remember we did make a pretty quick decision that we were going to launch into Diablo 2 and do it in a way that addressed some of the issues that were coming up in Diablo 1. We had no idea that people were actually going to play this game, much less try to cheat it. I think we kind of launched the advent of cheating in internet games. So it's kind of like a cool story there with that. And so we're going to talk about that later on, but Brevik talks about the loose design process of the game. He follows up with thought, like more detail. He says, quote, "And we'd mock it up. Yeah, that's great. Doesn't make any sense in the story, but what the hell? It's kind of cool." And then he would design these features, and essentially they would do things because they thought they were fun, not because they made sense. And I think that's a cool design concept because you're like making the gameplay fun, right?
Well, yeah, and a game like Diablo, like, yeah, sure, there are people that care about the lore, and like, I'm sure there are Diablo historians and things like that, but like the game, it is a game, right? Like you want it to be fun, and if something doesn't make sense in universe, and that's why you choose not to do a fun mechanic, you're kind of making the wrong decision, probably.
Exactly. So there is a part I was talking about with battle.net earlier, and the battle.net earlier was a major design priority because, and this kind of goes back to people like cheating it a little bit, but making online multiplayer more accessible and helping establish a long-lived online community was really helpful and really wanted because, as Brevik mentioned, in the early days, like battle.net and Diablo 1 was put in 6 months, and it was actually peer-to-peer, which is way less secure. So that was like a main priority of them, was to like get rid of the peer-to-peer nature in Diablo 1 and make it more persistent servers, I think, in Diablo 2.
Yeah, especially if they want to do like leaderboards or things like in a game like Diablo, where if there's no competition aspect to it, it's like, I mean, I guess if you want to cheat at playing a game, fine. You're just maybe either making it more or less fun for yourself. But in something
Yeah.
like Diablo 2, I think there's a little bit more competition involved in like as I understand it, right? There's like leaderboards and stuff or something like that, where it's like or it's so much more accessible to play with strangers that it's like, okay, I don't want to play with strangers if they're just going to cheat when I don't want to cheat, right?
Yeah, there's even leaderboards in the new Diablo 2 Resurrected as well. Like, and the coolest part about this game also, you can play it offline and it's not a problem. You can just hit play game and it won't be on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just play offline. Like if your internet connection fails, who cares? At least it was like that in the old game. I don't know about Resurrected, but like
I think it's the same on Resurrected. But I remember it was very, very controversial when Diablo 3 came out because at least on PC, the console versions are different. But on PC, if you didn't have internet, you could not play. And then, of course, the servers went down when the game came out. And so it's like, I bought this game and I can't play it. I don't even want to play with other people, but I can't play single player by myself because it has to be online. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And that was 2012. So it was like nowadays, always online is like a little more accepted. But back in those days, it was like, this is some BS, if you ask me.
Bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
So They really built up a ragtag team of people to build the game. Like some of them didn't even have experience with computers, which I thought was really cool. Like their artist, Michio Akamura, was the character artist for the game. And he would actually hand draw designs and just give them to people, and then they'd make them on the computer,
Jeez.
which I thought was really funny. Like, but he's the response. Like, you look at his concept art, he's responsible for all these cool demon designs that we get in Diablo. So it's really neat. Rick Seiss was the programmer, and then Matt Uleman did like all the sound effects and stuff in back in the day. And he was maybe like the fifth or sixth hire for Diablo 2. And I think the sound design in this game is awesome.
Yeah.
Like when you kill a monster and it drops gold, you're like, ooh, gold noise. Like you get excited, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And also the demons say Rockanishu. I don't know what that means or why they say that, but they say it. And now I associate that like as a classic Diablo sound. So it's just burned into my brain. Eric Schaefer pretty much admits and describes David Brevik as their leader. He said, quote, "The number one personality was definitely David. Without him, there's no way this could have ever happened. He was the fearless leader of us all and drove the development day to day, especially when things were going weird or we had to get back on track," end quote. But there is a crunch aspect. And I think even the Schaefer brothers are kind of like the crunch is one thing they'll always remember. He said, this is from Max Schaefer, quote, "Actually, some of the darker times were the end of Diablo 2, just because of the growth of the company and the growth of the project to the point where everyone was having to work 7 days a week, all waking hours for almost a year," which sounds terrible.
That does sound awful.
Yeah, so that's essentially the story of the development of Diablo 2. But the big takeaway, I think, is they grew Blizzard North. Like we got a lot more talent infused into the game, and that's what made Diablo 2, which is what we all love to this day, right? Like I love Diablo 2. So let's talk about Lord of Destruction a little bit. So the gameplay add-ons for this one is it added 2 playable classes. This came out in June 29th, 2001, and it added the Assassin class, which specializes in martial arts and traps, which I've never played, and it added the Druid class, which lets you shapeshift into a werewolf or a werebear, which is pretty cool. And you also get animal companions. I played as the Druid a lot. I liked it. It also added the new 5th act, Act 5, which takes players to the barbarian homeland of Mount Ariat. And there you have to battle Baal and his invading army across like snowy wildernesses and forests and like fortresses and ancient caves.
So
Very
it's like
cool
a whole
stuff.
campaign, not just like an add-on dungeon.
Yeah, it's like a whole added act. So it's going to be at least 6 quests.
Awesome.
So the expansion essentially also dramatically expanded the game's itemization, and it added elite weapons and armor, runes, rune words, class-specific equipment, jewels, charms, additional herodic cube recipes, hundreds of new unique sets and items. Like the one thing about this too is you can get items that are part of a set that you can hold on to. So if you get like the talisman, they all have like the same name, and then they add like bonuses for each set piece you have, which is pretty cool.
I love when games do that. I know Destiny does it more now, but like that's what I wanted for so long out of Destiny. And they like started doing it with raid armor, where it was like if you had different pieces of the raid armor, then you would get set bonuses when you were in the raid, which is like kind of cool. But by the time I have all the armor, like I'm kind of done playing the raid. So
yeah,
I just love set bonuses though.
Yeah, you want to make it so you can like chase that thing.
Yeah.
And then you can keep using that thing, and it's worthwhile.
Yep.
Which I think this game does a lot. It's nice. Like there's certain sets with certain builds that you're like, you want to get this set because that's just going to make your build even better, right? There's also some quality life improvements. They made it a bigger stash. They supported 800 by 600 resolution. They added weapon switching, hirelings that level alongside the player, and then multiplayer balance improvements. The story is pretty much like, I'm not going to get into it too much, but you travel to like Mount Ariat in the barbarian city of Harrogath, and you got to fight Baal or Baal. Is it? I always called it Baal.
The 2 A's makes me think it's Baal, but
Baal, yeah.
I don't know how.
It's weird because there's also a Baal or a Baal in Baldur's Gate as well.
Yeah, Baal is a biblical character, so
Baal
is commonly pronounced as Baal in English, but some also pronounce it as Baal. Okay, that's not helpful.
Well, that's not helpful at all. Thanks a lot. But yeah, you're pretty much fighting Baal. That's who you're fighting.
Yeah, I'm seeing more Baal. pronunciations. Okay.
Because Bale escapes at the end of Diablo 2, so you got to go find him. It just kind of leads it. So it was kind of nice they added that into the plot so you could add this DLC in, which I think is fun. I like it when games just do like one DLC and they move on.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of cool.
I kind of appreciate that. Diablo 3 did that with just Reaper of Souls, and that's it. They moved on.
Yeah. So I would say too, like, as far as I'm going to skip this part because this part actually is a lot of stuff I already said. So we're not going to go there. I should have deleted it, but you know what? We're doing it live. So
live to tape.
I would say that, like we talked about earlier, Lord of Destruction is pretty much what many people consider to be Diablo 2, just by all those quality of life improvements, like all the jewel socketing, all that stuff, like the runes, it's pretty big. So I would say go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think at this point, like, you can't even get it without Lord of Destruction. Like, it's not like you'd be like, but if you can't afford it, just get base Diablo 2. It's like any way you buy Diablo 2 now comes with Lord of Destruction. So
yeah. So the way that for example, in Resurrected, it's kind of interesting because you can start a character in the base game, you can start a character in the expansion, or you can start a character in the newest DLC for Diablo.
That's true, because they did put we're going to talk about that.
They added Warlock as a class. Yeah. So they added more stuff to the game even there. I actually haven't really played it yet, so I didn't talk about it in this one. Also, it's so new. It like just came out. So
which is crazy that they just like 25 years later, they're like, oh, by the way, here's an update to Diablo 2.
Yeah, and I think that shows the legacy of this game. Right? Like they wanted to make a DLC for it 25 years later. That's how good this game is and how important it is. And I think I could be talking at a turn here. At one point, Diablo 2 had more players than Diablo 4.
I believe that.
Like Diablo 2 Resurrected was more popular than Diablo 4.
Yeah, and I think Diablo 4 has been pretty well received. I don't think that's meant to be a slight at Diablo 4. I think people are just really excited for Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Yeah, Diablo 4 is fun. I've been playing it with our friends. Shout out to Aaron Brad. I like it a lot. I do think that Diablo 2 was kind of the first, so it's always going to have that like lightning in a bottle kind of thing with it. And as they add Diablo 4 to it, you're kind of like, okay, we've lost the plot. Like, you know what I mean? Like the plot is so confused in this. And like, I don't even try. I don't even try to know what the plot is in Diablo 4 anymore. I'm like, I'm just going to kill stuff with hammers. This sounds great. Let's talk about the legacy of this game. And to do this, we're going to talk about some of the self-enforced modes. Like think of it like Nuzlocke runs in Pokemon, but for Diablo. And this came off of that Blizzard article about 20 years of Diablo. So the first like self-imposed game mode, Naked Fury. Quote, no gear is allowed in a naked run. No one can pick up any items other than potions. Players agree to rely only on their class skills and teamwork to prevail. So this is like a team game mode.
Okay.
Each class brings unique utility that helps the group succeed where a single player would fail. Naked runs usually go up to the completion of the Pandemonium event and the conquering of all Uber bosses, while all wearing no items at all. So that's the first mode. It's kind of fun though, because it's like a team game where it's like the challenge is as a team, we got to beat all this stuff using only our skills and teamwork. Iron Man tournament. Iron Man is simple in concept. 8 players start new hardcore characters. Everyone plays together until level 9 while only using items they find. No previously found gear is allowed. At that point, the team goes back to town, goes hostile on each other, and then duels to the death. Last one standing is the winner.
It's like almost like a battle royale version of Diablo 2, where it's like, okay, for the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes of this game, we're going to get gear, and then it's on.
It's on, yeah. And so the third thing they mentioned is just speed running. That's just speed running. We all know how speed running works, right? That's a big part of Diablo 2's culture. Yep. But the last one, the Holy Grail. The goal of the Holy Grail quest is to single-handedly collect every set and unique item in the game, meaning you must see the item drop, no trading allowed. Since this is mostly a single-player challenges, some players like to use spreadsheets or apps to keep track of already dropped items, while others use mods and add infinite stash capabilities to the game in order to keep every item in their impressive collection.
Sheesh.
That sounds crazy to me, because you're going to be doing that for so
that sounds like
long.
This is a lifelong quest that I have.
Yeah.
And I just, every now and then when I'm bored of other games, like I drop into Diablo 2 and I keep going on my Holy Grail quest, and like maybe in 20 years I'll finish.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just Diablo 2. So we were talking about it when we were playing it together. We're going to kind of do an open discussion of the legacy of this game, I feel like, because you mentioned Torchlight,
Yeah.
right? And it's funny that you mentioned that because we were playing this game, and as we played it together, and then as I started playing it alone, I noticed a big part of the loop of this game is going back to town. In fact, a lot of the momentum in the game gets killed because you have to go back to town because your inventory is full.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Torchlight had a workaround for this, where you can give the item to your pet.
Yep.
And they take it back to town and sell it for you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's genius. But like, we wouldn't have Torchlight without Diablo, right? So that's the big legacy. We wouldn't have Path of Exile, all these ARPGs, even the Diablo sequels. I mean, Diablo 2 started. Diablo 1 walked, so Diablo 2 could run and start it for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair assessment to say. I also think just being an action RPG and one of the first good action RPGs. I mean, all those games that I love, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. Now that I love Champions and Norath, that's also Diablo coded. You know, they're all coming from this, and this game is arguably one of the best, if not the best, and also still really near and dear to my heart. And even though the nostalgia goggles got taken off and I can see it for like, okay, got to go back to town again to sell all my wares, talk to Deckard Cain so we can identify my items, I still have a good time and I still like it a lot. And you feel really cool when you kill a boss in this game because like you kill a boss, for example, and like they melt down and sometimes fire will come out or like shocks and lightning will come out all over the place. Like it feels really epic and crazy, like you're a big hero, which is cool.
There's a lot of like it hits the like the lizard brain parts of like flashing lights, and like there's some Skitterbox stuff of like we love like chance drops of things, right? Like that, all that kind of stuff is like sort of feeds into a lot of the like primal things that humans just love, and it does it in a way that's like doesn't feel bad. You know what I mean? Because it's just a video game. I'm sure there are people that got addicted to it or whatever, but like it's just a video game, which is awesome.
Dude, I was actually just looking this up because you just made me think about this. Is Diablo 2 flashing lights and everything? How cool would it be for there to be, and there is a virtual one, there's a virtual pinball machine for Diablo 2, and there was a physical pinball machine for Diablo 3. But I just think that the flashing lights, it says here there's a Diablo 3 pinball machine. Although it's virtual, they're all virtual. No one made a. Oh wait, well that's they're using mixed reality to make it. I think there should be a physical Diablo 2 pinball machine would be sweet.
Oh yeah, and then you get like power-ups and stuff that drop as loot.
I've been thinking about pinball a lot lately because I've been going to bars and hanging out with people with this pinball, and I'm just like, man, it feels really good. It feels really nice. It's like a social game too. How old were you when you learned that you can play multiplayer on pinball? Did you know that right away?
I was 36 years old. I just learned that right now. I've never heard of multiplayer pinball.
Yeah. So if you put money in and you hit the start button more than once, you can add players and it'll track separate scores. You can do up to 4 players on most machines.
How does that? So do you play one at a time or you play?
Yeah, you play one.
Okay, cool.
You lose your ball one. Next person plays their ball one.
Turn. Oh.
Yeah. You can do multiplayer on pinball. Isn't that neat?
Wow. Well, today I learned.
Today you learned. Yeah. You just said flashing lights, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if there was a Diablo pinball machine. There's virtual ones, but there hasn't been a physical one.
Nice.
And there should be. But yeah, I love this game. I'll never stop playing this game. It's my favorite. I'm like really stoked about Resurrected now because I'll probably pick it up every once in a while and just play it on a rainy day.
Yeah.
It's super fun. And I want to try these other classes. I really want to try this assassin trap making class. I hate traps when they happen to me, but I love them when they happen to NPC enemies.
Yeah. I want to drop traps all over the ground. That's what I did in Diablo 3. The Demon Hunter class, I think, has lots of traps that you lay on the ground for enemies.
Well, maybe because you were saying that you liked the Demon Hunter class in Diablo 3, right? That was like your favorite.
Yeah.
So maybe you probably want to play the assassin class in Diablo 2 because it's the closest thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I like a ranged class. Assassin usually says to me not ranged, but it's like a get in, get out thing. So maybe that's fun too.
Yeah, I think you can also play it with a bow. Like if you again, Diablo's still got that thing where it's like if you have a high enough deck stat or whatever you need, you can use a bow. Like it's fine. Is it super optimal? Probably not, but who cares if you're having fun?
Yeah.
You're able to progress. Who cares? So that's all I got for Diablo 2 today, though. Tyler, what you been playing?
Well, I am fast approaching the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's most of what I've been spending my time on when I have gaming time. And I'm having a great time with that. I've played it before. I've played Rebirth as well. But I want to play through Remake and Rebirth again before Revelation comes out. And so I'm gonna finish Remake. Maybe I'll move right on to Rebirth, but I do have a few hours on Final Fantasy IX now, so I may just keep going on that. We'll see. But that's kind of where I've been spending most of my gaming time these days. And of course, we played some Diablo 2 the other night, which I am excited to play more of. It makes me want to play Torchlight as well. And the only problem I have with the first Torchlight is no controller support, and it's only on PC platforms. And they did do an Xbox 360 version on the Xbox Live Arcade, so I'm gonna see with my legally purchased copy, of course, if there's maybe some emulation opportunities to play it with a controller.
Obviously,
with my legally purchased copy, which I do actually have on Xbox 360 because I did really like.
Well, you always
personally.
actually have it. Every time we mention it, we always actually have it. That's the whole thing,
Yeah.
right?
But also Torchlight 2 is great. Similarly, does not have controller support on PC, but if you play console versions, you can play with controller support. But there's like a Switch version of it and everything.
They're co-op, right?
Yeah, Torchlight 2 is co-op. The first one is single player only.
Okay, well, we should play 2 together. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I love playing video games. It's kind of why I have this podcast, right?
No,
that's
really
why we do this.
Fortunate, yeah, that the podcast really helps with that. Yeah,
it really helps us play video games, which is good. So, also, can we sidebar this, because I don't know why I never thought of this before. You and I were playing League of Legends, so this is kind of related to what you've been playing. And we were talking about how hard the grind is in that game. It can get pretty rough. We've played ranked, right? And
any game where you're relying on your teammates, you think you're playing awesome and everybody else isn't, but you lose anyway. That it can be frustrating.
It feels rough. Yep. But what's funny is I don't know why I never thought of this before. And this is something I should have thought of, being a person that plays video games my whole life, is that for some people, that's their game, right? Like they only play one game. Like you and I are fortunate, as in, I think we have like, one, the income, because wow, it's expensive. And then 2, like the time and the availability to play all sorts of games. Like you and I jump around like pretty regularly. But I forget that for many gamers, it's a one game like is their thing, right? Like some people only play Fortnite.
Yep. Or FIFA. Like they're like, I just buy FIFA every year and that's it.
And I don't really think about that enough, I think, as far as like, especially as an industry, right? Because the industry wants you to have a forever game. That's what the appeal was of live service, is they're like, we're going to make it so you only play Destiny, or you only play World of Warcraft, or you only play Call of Duty. And then they're learning that just isn't feasible, I think, for a lot of people.
It's feasible for it's feasible for a couple of games. Outside of that, it becomes a live service game becomes very hard to maintain.
That's true.
Without the player base.
Yeah. That thought was just prevalent in my mind this week. I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. And except when we were talking about it. But here's what I played. I played Diablo 2 with you. Battlefield 6 got Navy maps. It's fun. A little boat. Right around
I need
to
check that out. I downloaded it. It's like a 30 gig update. It was huge.
It's really fun, though. It's fun to swim around. And then I stopped playing Death Stranding because it got so ridiculous that I was like, Tyler needs to be here. It finally got to the point where they're like explaining what's going on. And the minute they did that, I was like, I should not be doing this without Tyler.
I need to play that. I really don't know anything about Death Stranding, which is kind of crazy considering how much I love Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, and how much we love Kojima. Like, there's a character named Dead Man, and then there's another character named Die Hard Man.
All right. Okay.
All right. They introduced that at the very beginning, and I was like, Tyler needs to be here for this. And I legitimately stopped playing, and I was like, I'm not going to play this again until Tyler comes back from vacation. It's so fun. Oh, man. All right. But with that, that's going to be the episode for the day. So if you want to support us, go to codexpodcast.net. It's got all our links there. You can send us emails, join our Discords, all that stuff. And with that, Tyler, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Sure. Goodbye, everybody.